Hello! Oh, I just barely caught the stream and muted it. Yes! I am so good at this, so professional. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Spire game. I'm on the left anyway. I'm on the top left, so I don't know why I did that to myself, so I'll go first. Hi, I'm Jess. You're at my channel. At co_JG, where I get to play games with my friends, and I'm excited to play games with these friends. And I'm back at home, so hopefully I won't have any connection issues today. I won't disappear. But sadly, I also won't have a wonderful, amazing lap cat, who is just the cuddliest cuddle monster. Miss you, Frankie. And I'm very excited to go down to Red Row. It sounds like we might get into some trouble, but also, like, we're probably going to be fine. So I'm your spider mom today. Kosa, making sure you're taking care of yourself. Have you had something to eat? Have you had something to drink? Are you taking care of yourself right now? Spider mom wants to know.
It's also very familiar.
Spider mom may have just been yelling at people to make sure they hydrated. Yeah, so yeah, excited to head out into Red Row.
Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm Megan. I am playing Imogene, who is the idol. Megan is very excited to go down to Red Row. Imogene is not excited at all to go down to Red Row. It will be fine. I will hide behind Spider Mom, and everything's gonna be great. Yeah, that's all I got. Why not? Let's go. I'm excited.
I'm Nicholas, and I will be playing Florentine, sort of a information broker with lots of masks and possibly identities and issues.
Definitely issues.
Yeah, definitely issues.
And I am Dustin. I am playing Torith of the Lost Chapters, a Vermision sage who has been to Red Row and has not been to Red Row all at the same time.
And I'm Jason. I am the GM, so I'll be playing like everybody else. And we're going to see how that all goes today. And I think we're going to start with... Florentine is going to do a recap of the last episode.
Yeah, so Florentine is sitting in a dark room, and the camera is just up at his face. And he's working on something you can't really see. And as you know, I've found my associates and learned I had been very close to the exploding sky whale. And then the process had saved the councilwoman Farians from certain death. They were not so keen on killing the council member they saved, though. Probably due to her being a drow despite sitting on the council. She's alive and hidden for now, but there are rumors. Dangerous. But it turns out that it ties into the stolen explosives. Stolen for Caress. The plot thickens. So the cell went to the Sky Docks to do some investigations. I myself was quite useless, but the other did quite well. What? No, the dock workers refused to talk. Am I losing touch? How rude. We found who ordered the explosives on board the Skywell, though, and with some skullduggery and bribes. I think Torith gave them some fine liquor. It was quite impressive how no one saw anything switch hands. We must look into how it was done. Imogen quite deftly handled the Azurite and the people who were in his office threatening him. Blackguards are looking into this as well. Don't worry, they're on the list. If the Azurite survives, we should track them down. You never know when a weasel might be useful. And it turns out that the maskless Aelfirs hanging around in Red Row. Suddenly, my first suspicion of going up Spire seems to be much more pleasant than the breadcrumbs of reality. I agree it would have been better if you have been there as well, but alas, you're not ready yet. Soon. And we can see that he's making one of his masks and he's talking to it.
All right. My first question before I jump into things is Torith. What have you been studying up on lately?
So I have been going through some books that I have upon my person, or I reach into a pocket and the book that I'm looking for, it just happens to be there. But they're reading up on books about stealth and hiding in plain sight and being sneaky. So
Okay.
I'm thinking my knack is in sneak.
All right. So what aspect of sneak?
I think in just sort of like, what are my aspects of sneak?
So you could
This knack thing is still something I'm still trying to.
So knacks are very flexible. It could be, for instance, hiding in plain sight. Like people just don't
Yeah,
notice.
I was thinking.
You're not
Yeah, I was thinking.
actively doing anything.
I think that's what I'm going for. Is more of like a hiding in plain sight, just sort of like trying to blend in and not be noticed.
Yep. So there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a knack of sneak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still getting my head around these knack things.
All right. So
Should take a note.
4 of you are headed down to Red Row. The lift you are on creaks and shudders as it descends the Spire. Close enough. Crammed shoulder to shoulder with passengers who get increasingly suspicious at each down Spire stop. You are packed in with a pair of loud, plastered knights with wicked broadswords strapped to their backs, a shifty-eyed Azurite, and their mysterious hulking bodyguard who smells slightly sharp and sour and chemical, and a willowy drow lady whose face is powdered with chalky ash in decorative patterns and who leans close to another, harder drow woman clad in leather straps and many, many metal buckles and hooks. With a thud and a sudden halt, the lift stops in Red Row, the very end of the line for the lifts. There are much more levels further below the Spire, but the lifts do not dare travel there. The crowd shoves its way out of the lift and into the fire-lit streets of Red Row. Down here, no sun ever reaches the streets, which is just fine for the Drow, who keep Red Row lit by smoky Spire black torches and fire pits. You are not a dozen steps from the lift when the air cracks with the sounds of distant gunfire. But no one even lifts an eye, and no one shouts for help. Welcome to Red Row. So you've just stepped off the lift with your unusual passengers who all stepped off with you because this is literally the last stop for the lift. It goes back up after this. Everything further down from here is done through steps or chutes or strange ladders. But yes, there were sounds of gunfire in the distance, sound like rifle cracks in the air, but it doesn't seem to faze anyone. In fact, if anything, they seem to look away from the source of the sound, keep their heads down, and shuffle on.
Let's stay together, shall we? Maybe no one split off from the party.
We were thinking the same thing, and Torith like pops up the collar and pulls. I mean, I look like a noir detective, but like dark red clothes.
That is a good segue because I was about to ask you guys what you each are wearing and carrying of note on you.
Okay, so since I was starting, I have like a really long like trench coat sort of thing. It's a weird like trench coat, but also like it's weird. I'm still figuring out what it actually looks like, but it has a huge collar, and I pull that up, and it almost covers like right up to my head. And my weird Inquisition hat thing, wide brim. And right now I have this really dark gray ponytail that sort of like comes out and braided around my shoulder.
It just appeared like that at one point.
Yeah, as we're coming down the lift, it just someone looks over at me and then looks away and then comes back, and it's that. And yeah, so. And I just have, try it like minimal. I'm not really carrying anything visibly. Other than like as I'm in there, I have like a book and I put it away as the lift stops and go into, stealth mode.
Yep. Imogene, what do you look like as you step off the lift?
Yeah, so at the end, before he came down, Imogene got what she thought would equate to Red Row appropriate clothing. So she's got on pants for the first time in a very long time with some knee-high boots, and then she has like a military style jacket that in the front like stops at the waist, and then the back like goes into like almost like a skirt gown type thing in the back. And then her hair, which is normally like very like long and wavy and stark white, is like wound up into a bun on the top of her head. So she thinks that she's probably incognito, but she probably does still stands out. And then she doesn't carry much on her. She has a small dagger that she's got strapped to her leg, and then has some pouches probably around her waist that have some makeup, because that's how she uses her magic, and then some money and trinkets and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Florentine, how about you?
Yeah, Florentine have basically dresses all in black. Sort of an old long leather coat, where originally probably the collars would have been quite stiff and high, but now it's used, so it's a little bit faded, so now it's just slouching down a little bit. And then there is sort of from the clothes to where underneath there's a hood that goes up, and it covers the face that isn't covered by the owl mask.
Nice. And
yeah, he's has a small he was carrying the gun and a small sort of a pouch at the side where he keeps his masks.
And Florentine does know that Red Row is one of the few places in the Spire. Well, as you get lower and lower in the Spire, it gets safer and safer. But Red Row openly carrying firearms is not so much an issue.
Yeah.
There are very few city guard here, and they're way overworked and not paid enough to try to take guns away from most people in Red Row.
Yes, he's probably making sure that the firearm is visible here, because that means less people will bother you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I meant to say, Imogene, like as the lifts are going down, she took her mask off, so
okay.
Not wearing one, just kind of like tucked it away.
Yep. Cahosa, what do you look like in Red Row?
Kosa always wears some form of her ceremonial like midwife robes, because from her perspective, the midwives should be welcome everywhere in Spire. And like she has done work with people below her own sort of hatcheries level even, I think. Mm-hmm. And so she's wearing sort of not like the really, really long flowy robes, but something a little more practical, a little shorter, and it's not even fully bound up all the way. It's sort of almost like asymmetrically open to one side so that you can see underneath. She does have like leather pants. And there is something sort of like shining at her hip that you can kind of see, but not exactly like what it is. And I do think she has a bit of a, like, in the robe, it has a bit of a, not a really high collar, but like a little bit of a popped collar up around the neck. And, yeah, she's not walking like she's too shy to be down here.
I like it. Okay, so the four of you have stepped off the lift. The passengers who are with you on the lift all start to scatter in different directions, in their own little respective groups. And you know enough. I mean, you had learned about the sunken station of Shutter, the Vermision station, that's being used as sort of a headquarters by that group of traditionalist Alfir and related people that they hang out with. You know that's a few blocks up from where you are. Red Row itself is dark and grimy. It is kept illuminated literally by torches and fire pits, and most of those are burning with what is called Spire Black, which is a mysterious substance that grows on the walls in industrial areas of Spire. Basically, it's scraped off of walls and things there, and it burns, but it produces a lot of smoke. So even though all of Red Row is in an underground cavern, you can't even see the ceiling of the cavern. There's just clouds of thick smoke way up towards the ceiling.
You okay, Florentine? A little bit thick down here with the smoke for you?
Well, yeah, it's getting to the mask.
Do we
And
know?
Frontin will take one of the torches from the wall, so that they have something to.
Yeah, you're not sure if you're supposed to take those, but nobody stops you when you do.
Do we know where we're supposed to be going? The sooner we can get there, the sooner we can leave.
I think they are hanging out by the disused station.
Do you know how to get there from here?
And you do, Florentine.
Yeah, it's thankfully not so far.
Yeah, it's not terribly far. One thing you do know, Florentine, though, is between where you are and where the station is Threadneedle Square, which is a rundown, basically center of the drug manufacturing and drug trade down here. It's run by one of the three gang bosses who basically run everything in Red Row. This group is called the Sisters, and there's three sisters who run this one syndicate who control Threadneedle Square.
Did you say badass boss bitches? Please tell me more, Jason.
They are. But that's about all you know right now.
Damn it.
We will have to travel to some a little bit unsavory places.
As Florentine says that, you look around and pretty much everything here is an unsavory place.
There isn't perhaps a least less savory route that you might be able to guide us around?
I think if we don't go to the square, then it will take a lot longer time, and it will probably lead us to worse places. So
we'll just have to go through there quickly, I suppose?
yeah, if someone offers you something, be mindful of what it is.
I like how he didn't say no.
I was thinking the same thing. I like that he's leaving it up to us to still decide. He's like, reconsider it, but you know, you do you.
Some of the things can have bad repercussions.
All right, but you're gonna head towards that direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
So you're walking down the streets of Red Row. The streets are not as busy as you're used to up Spire. You get the feeling a lot of people avoid spending a lot of time on the streets unless they have a very specific reason to do so. But there are like small knots of people around. And many of those people are sporting some kind of firearm. Some of them are really cheap, dangerous looking firearms that look little more than a metal pipe with some sort of trigger apparatus attached to it, where some of them actually have fairly nice pistols or very decently crafted rifles slung across their backs. But they all sort of stand on sides of the streets unless they're going somewhere, then their heads down, moving towards an area. You see a lot of people who avoid making any sort of eye contact with each other unless they know each other. And every now and then you see flashes of people giving hand signals and stuff to each other, as if there are unspoken languages down here between different gangs or groups. But yeah, you reach what the rest of you figure out quickly must be Threadneedle Square. You're not sure what this used to be, but it used to be some large structure that is now hollowed out and ruined. But broken, rundown walls still surround this now open space. It's all paved and urban. There's no greenery here. And there are just people who are standing at various points, clearly armed, occasionally appear to be transacting some kind of business with other people who come up to them quickly, work out some kind of arrangement, and then quickly disappear.
Do any of them look like there are any like people grouped together sort of like talking like they're... Does anyone look like they would plot an ambush? Is what I'm like working towards here.
Give me a... This would be a sneak plus crime roll.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you have either of those, so it might just be a 1d10.
I don't have either of those.
So it's just a 1d10.
Okay, let me...
We're in a place that sneak would be really helpful, and
Do none of us have sneak?
None of you have sneak.
Well, sheesh. You know...
I mean, I have my knack right now. So.
Yeah, true.
I got a 4.
Got a 4, huh? All right.
Plus nothing.
So you're gonna take some stress.
No,
I'm just looking around.
Yep.
You're taking looking stress.
I mean, sometimes when I
really
look around, I
yeah.
feel stressed.
I really strained my eyeballs here, guys.
Okay. So you're looking around the square to see if if anything looks like an ambush. You're not actually all that familiar with what an ambush looks like down here.
Yeah.
You're used to living in the hatcheries and stuff where people don't regularly ambush each other. You might be knowledgeable in how like spiders ambush things.
Well,
But
yeah, and the humans up in our area do dumb doofus human things.
But armed drug dealers, not as much. So you do see groups of suspicious-looking people, and as you're passing by, a number of them sort of glance quickly up at you. None of them seem to be watching you all that closely at first, but you get about halfway across the square, and you notice there is one group that you're sort of passing halfway through the square, and they looked as if they were just conducting some sort of business. But you catch them eyeing you very intently. Like they are watching your group move across the square.
I just move over to Florentine and explain that I don't actually know what to look for here. I want to assume the best in all Drow. But
No, then you're definitely in the wrong place, yes.
There is no best this far down the spire.
that's we're all family in this together, here to save each other, I'm sure.
I mean,
That's
if
an
you
overstatement.
wanna
There must be good people here.
Well, if you want to be happy, you could try that. And I point to one of the dealers.
No, that's not exactly what I meant, Florentine. I just was trying to decipher what was around us and realized I should leave that up to You and Torith, most likely.
So just a little like lore thing. There is a substance. It's not really, the Drow don't consider it a drug, but it's called malic, and it is a mild like depressant. I mean, sort of like alcohol, I guess. But basically, Drow use it just to de-stress.
Just to deal with being alive as a drow.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Harsh life in this environment.
Except the problem is that a few years back, the Alfir outlawed it, which was basically just a pretense to arrest Drow if they had any desire to do so. Because it was so commonly used. I mean, it'd be like banning coffee or something, or like the prohibition.
They don't want us to be happy or anything.
They banned coffee in the Spire?
Well,
this is a terrible place!
Down. This is it.
There is coffee in the Spire too, and that is not banned. But the Drow sort of equivalent, and so now it's sort of a pretense to arrest Drow if they're caught using it, which many still do use it, and it is made. It's sort of an underground industry.
I didn't realize what a level of a horror show the Spire truly was until you told me coffee was illegal here. I just want to really quickly say thank you so much for the raid, Animated Break. Welcome on in. Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
we are playing Spire, so feel free to come hang out, chill out. We are all Drow, kind of repressed in a tower where people have taken away our coffee, if you can believe. It's truly horrific.
Sure.
Yep.
They've taken away our joy. Another piece of joy we find.
Yep.
And yeah, so now we're on a mission. We're in a pretty scary area.
We're in Crime Town.
We're in a crime town. So welcome on in. Thanks for coming in. Thank you for the raid. Heart your faces. Sit down, chill out, enjoy.
So the group that was eyeing you,
Boy.
they start to approach you.
Oh crap.
Do they look like something?
Yes.
Of like a group one would know, or is it more?
You don't see anything noteworthy that stands out about them. There are 3 of them, and they're not close enough to you yet for you to tell if they're specifically armed. They're not wielding anything large and flashy. No rifles on them.
Torith's hands move into his pockets and he holds onto a puzzle box that is his crossbow.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, Florentine will look at them and then cock his head a little bit. So that
With the owl mask.
yeah, and then
yes, beautiful.
yeah, and then we have the the blinking thing with the owl mask is that it blinks horizontally.
Oh,
So
it's so
unnerving.
creepy and I love it.
Like a nictating membrane.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and
literally-
I will look at the people
So
coming towards us as I do this.
That's amazingly unsettling.
That is. It doesn't seem to stop them from approaching, though.
I'm gonna move behind everybody.
I think Kosa stands up taller.
Yeah, I'm gonna go behind Kosa. Not in a I'm a chicken scared baby kind of way,
Yeah.
but in a this is not for me.
And I think Spider Mom kind of floofs out her midwife robes a little bit and stands up taller and just
Okay.
waits for
I
them
sort
to
of
approach.
I pull down and try to not be noticed, but I'm definitely ready. This Torith is ready for a. And I'm kind of up next to Florentine.
Okay. So as they start to get closer to you, one of them sort of takes the lead out of the trio of them that are approaching. Says, "Hey, are you there? Want some dagger?" And
No.
yeah, I would say Florentine probably maybe Imogene has heard of it, but dagger is it's a brownish crystalline dust. It's very chemical. It's very popular in Red Row. It's basically gives people quite a rush and a real sense of confidence, and makes them kind of aggressive. But yeah, they're still coming towards you, and they're still asking, "You don't want any? You sure?"
I will look at my friends, and then I will look at them. Yeah, we got our confidence sorted out.
What you coming through Threadneedle Square if you don't want anything?
Oh, we want something, just not what you're selling.
Oh, and the one in the lead looks at one of the other ones behind him. What
We
brings
have
you down
our
this far?
We have our business.
Well, I think your business is also my business.
Is it now?
And the lead one looks over at Imogene, who, despite an effort to be incognito, it still looks very fancy for Red Row. And also, even just the way she carries herself is not like Red Row. She carries herself, even as she's like moving to put the rest of you between her and these people, she's extremely like just visible, just the way she walks and everything.
Is someone walking up to where Kosa is standing in front of Imogene?
The lead one of them is maybe 6 feet away from Kosa.
Do I see them look at Imogene?
Yes.
Okay, I take a step forward to them, and I'm like, our business is our business. You will move along.
I'm going to ask for a compel plus crime roll.
Okay.
Is there any way...
I don't have crime.
Anyone who has compel or crime can assist.
God
but if,
damn it! I have neither of those.
I have compel.
I have
Okay.
compel.
I have an X in compel, right? So that means
Yes, that means yes.
you have it.
okay.
So anyone who assists you can add a D10, but they would also share the stress if
Yeah.
if
So
you
it's
fail.
just 1d10, and I drop my die.
So it's 1d10 base, and if you have compel, it's 2d10.
Okay, so 2d. I'll be right back.
And then it's up to you guys if you want to help. If you
Yeah, I want to help, and I will put my hand on the gun.
Okay.
Draw it.
Imogene, are you helping or are you staying quiet?
Oh, can multiple people help? Because
Yep. You are factored into the risk if it fails. So that's up to you.
So
Yeah.
I'm rolling 2d10.
so.
So far you're rolling 3d10.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I don't want these people to talk to me or to.
Oh, so you're rolling 4d10 now.
I don't have that many d10.
Just roll.
Why?
And
Do you
so,
have percentile dice? Because you could use...
Yeah, like this set has 2 d20s, but it's missing one of the d10s. That's weird.
Because if you use the, like,
I'll roll 3 and then I'll roll another one.
Okay.
So that's an 8, a 9, and an 8.
all right, so that's good. So we go by the highest one, which is a 9, which is a full success. So luckily
Nice.
nobody takes any stress. Imogene, how are you assisting with this kind of stare down?
I think, God, because she does not know how to be intimidating at all. I think I'm gonna just like pull one of the front skirts of my jacket away and just like put my hand on my very small dagger that I've got strapped to my leg.
Okay, so the sort
Trying
of
to be threatening.
okay, so Torith sort of speaks back to them, stares down with them, and behind Torith, Florentine and Imogene just both sort of put their hands or show off their weapons. And the lead guy, he tries to look tough, but he starts to back down a little bit. He takes a couple steps backwards. He says, well, carry on then quickly through the thread needle. But the sisters are always watching here. Maybe I won't know what you're up to, but they will.
Of course they do. They are important. You're not.
I start walking and I shoulder check him just a little bit. Like I don't even care. I just walk.
All right, they don't confront you. They like one of them gets the you were shoulder checking the lead one.
Yeah.
Yep. So he just sort of gets pushed a little bit, shoved a little bit, and you actually think you hear one of the secondaries sort of snicker a little at their leader sort of being embarrassed. But they just step back and they continue to watch you as you're moving through the square. But they don't make any further move to confront you.
Once we're like a few steps away, I'm gonna like put my hand on Torth's arm and just be like, thank you.
And Torth looks at Imogene, and for a quick second, you see like this weird flash that like I don't know. It's like he does this little smile, and it's this look that he has given you before, but not you. Like he has given you, and he for a split second he forgets that you're not you. You're not the you he knows.
Social interaction with Torth is strange.
Yeah, and like all like the voice that he was using with the things is different. He's like, "You're welcome."
For a second, he's not him, and you're not you. Just like...
I'm always me. I'm just not the me that he thinks that I am. Yes.
And if anyone had noticed on the hand when he was doing his confronting thing, he had a ring when he was that, and now that ring is gone. But no one probably noticed that.
Interesting.
Well, when they looked at Imogene, that's when he got all, because for you guys, like Torth doesn't normally ever act like that confrontational.
Yeah, he definitely did this time, and it seemed to be when Imogene was under threat.
Yeah, when he noticed people were, yeah.
Okay, so you continue to move through the square. Those three are still definitely watching you. They're watching you the whole time, but they don't move from their spot where you had left them. And you get to the other far end of the square, and you pass through the square. Nobody else gives you a hard time. And once you get through the square, you're a block away from where the shutter station is, supposedly. Florentine, you've never actually been to the Vermision station. There was no ever need for you to go there. You just know where it's located. But yeah, you get there pretty soon, and you're not sure what you were quite expecting to see when you arrived there. But this is definitely not quite what you were expecting at all. You see sort of a slightly ramshackle building. It actually looks like it's leaning slightly to one side. It doesn't have any sign or any identification that indicates it's a station. You just sort of know that's where Florentine knows that's where the station's supposed to be. You also know from being in Red Row before that this station had collapsed and sunk into the earth, or into the Spire. So this was built on top of where the station was. But yeah, it's a fairly smallish building. It's 3 stories, and it's slightly leaning. It's made out of some kind of old wood. And it's got a number of torches that are on poles leading up to the door. And you see people milling about outside of it. It seems to be a hangout spot.
I'll put down the torch I was carrying.
Okay.
I'm
I'm going to say that there are plenty of like fire pits around, so you can probably, if there isn't a stand, you can just set it in one of those fire pits.
So, I have not been in here, so I don't know what to expect. Probably unsavory people.
Oh, well, that seems par for the course here.
That it does.
Hopefully they are more polite than the rabble.
Heading
And
inside?
I'll push the door open.
Okay, you push the door open. Once you move inside is actually a very, it's not somber, it's not like depressing, but it's fairly quiet. It is definitely a bar or a tavern of some sort. And there are a number of people down here. Many of them are strangely dressed. A lot of them are robed or hooded. Some of them, with scarves around their necks. Some of them wearing dark glasses, even though the room itself is not terribly bright. Torith, you can sense as soon as you walk into this place, they're very subtle, but to you, they stand out. The energies of the Vermision. You can just feel it's like it makes your skin kind of tingle. Just being this close to the weird dimension pairing energy of the Vermision.
Mm-hmm.
You also notice, so as soon as you come in, there's a bar to the right. It's a long wooden bar, and there's a hooded figure who's tending bar behind it. And there are a number of people sitting in front of the bar. There are a number of people at tables. Straight ahead, there is a stairwell that goes down, and it sort of has a tunnel over top the stairwell. And it looked like there was some sort of like mosaic tile above the archway, but it's partially fallen apart. So the only word that's visible now there is utter. You imagine this used to be, it was Shutter Station once upon a time, but the SH seems to have vanished. Now it's just utter.
Is that DDER or TTER?
UDDER. Yeah, nobody seems to even care that you've come in. They're all busy doing their own thing, drinking at tables. Some of them are playing games.
Well, what now?
Yeah, that's a good question. We know they are hanging out here, probably below. I don't think they will just let us walk down. But we could ask. We could threaten.
We make ourselves look at home for a few seconds.
Actually, out of all of you, Torith feels the most familiar with this kind of place.
So it's like a bar, right? Or
It's like a bar. You believe it might be like a tavern. You think there's probably spaces, like resting spaces and sleeping accommodations upstairs.
okay. I'm going to just sort of like point at a table for like us to sit down, and I'm gonna walk up to the bar.
Okay. You walk up to the bar, and now you can get a better look at the hooded figure who is tending bar, which is somewhat strange by itself. But as soon as you get up there, you realize it's not half as strange as reality. This person, you can't see their eyes because the hood covers their eyes, but you do see two glowing yellow like orbs reflecting the torchlight, and a snout. And the snout is furred, and it's crisscrossed with scars where there's fur not growing. And you are almost certain that this is a gnoll.
Oh. And I'm gonna sort of come up and lift up my hat a little bit, and I've got this like really neatly kept goatee, beardy goatee sort of thing, and I just look like a criminal with a goatee. I mean, I look very shady. The ponytail's gone, and it's all like the ponytail's gone. It's different hair. Couple rounds to your finest.
And the bartender turns to you when you say that, and now you see that in addition to the scarred snout, there's also one very black and rotted fang that overhangs part of their lip. And they say, "Finest how?"
Finest will, of course. I'm just sort of trying to. I imagine I'm trying to use like a accent that is gutter, gutter born sort of.
So you're trying to fit in.
Yeah.
All right. Give me for that a deceive plus crime roll.
Two things I don't have.
Again, if anybody can assist, I don't know.
I keep hoping you'll say low society because I have that one, but
Yeah.
I don't have.
Well, see, my thing was when I was thinking about this, I was either gonna try and go with deceive or sneak, and I went with sneak, and now I'm freaking playing the character as like pretending I'm trying to be all assertive, and I'm like, oh, well, way to go, Dustin.
I have deceive, but I'm thinking about how I can help.
Oh, I have
Yeah,
deceive.
let me do the. I guess just let me.
Yeah.
Back. 6.
6. Okay, that's a partial success. So let's see.
I just roll 1d10, right?
Yep, because you don't have those skills.
I don't have any of those. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I can always reverse things, guys, if things ever go bad.
Oh.
Or I can try to reverse.
That didn't happen like that. Right.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. Okay.
Oh, wow. It's always great with the GM.
Yeah. So you ask for the finest stuff, and you're clearly trying to fit in, sort of. You've sort of taken on this whole posture of a local, or what you think is a local. The gnoll just sort of grins, like one part of their snout, like their smile, just turns up a corner, and they turn around and they go to some bottles and they start pouring you a drink. Were you ordering for everybody or just yourself?
Yeah, no, everybody.
Okay, so they pour a few drinks. They just turn and they set down 4 short glasses of. It's a clear liquid, but it has sort of a golden brownish tinge to it.
How does it smell?
So you lift it up and take a sniff. It smells strong. It smells smoky.
Thanks. I forgot who we're looking.
Do you have a straw?
The gnoll lets out sort of a barking laugh, like a really quick kind of laugh, really quick bark, basically, and then moves down the bar a little bit and goes and gets it's like just a small metal tube, and they hand it to you.
Thank you.
And you actually now notice that a few people who are sitting at the bar are sort of watching your group.
Of course they do. I will take the straw into the glass and then open it a little bit and then take a small sip to see what it is.
Okay. You take a small sip, and it is strong. It has like an aftertaste that hits you like half a second after you drink it. Just smells like a forest fire, or tastes like a forest fire smells. But you're fine when you drink it. You don't have any sort of strange effect. It's just a strong drink to you.
So it's lapsang, but with alcohol.
Sort of.
Well, if it's piss, it's not the worst one I've drunk.
That's really charming, Florentine. Thank you for sharing that. And I think Kosa will take her glass and raise it up charmingly to like the people who looked over at us. And go ahead and take a sip if it's I'm gonna try and keep a straight face.
All right, you take a sip, and it is strong. It sort of hits you a moment, but you keep your composure. I mean, you're pretty good at maintaining your composure generally anyway. You don't cough on it or anything, choke or anything. It's strong, and it has the very thick, smoky flavor to it.
It must be very, very smoky, as usually if drinks are smoky, they're described as campfire. But you went with an entire forest fire.
Yes,
So
forest fire.
this is like, whoosh. Like, this is like if this was Jess, she would gag, but like Kosa's way tougher.
Aged in completely burnt barrels.
Pretty much.
It's made of fire and then set on fire and then like
It's all a process.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm not drinking that.
How about you, Torth?
I drink it.
Okay.
I don't like just sip it either. I just like take a hearty.
Probably.
I just had a sip. I want that on the record. I only had the tiniest bit.
Torth, you take a healthy swig of it. Probably drink like half of the glass at once, at least, in the first swig. And you're fine at first. Then your throat sort of closes up, and you start choking and coughing. And beyond that, your mind starts to get cloudy.
Oh,
Like your vision, the edges of your vision start to turn dark, and you're feeling a little bit dizzy.
I feel like this is nothing Torth hasn't done to himself before.
And Torth isn't so much noticing it right now, but the rest of you are noticing. The people who are watching are laughing and pointing at Torth and talking to themselves, and even the bartender is smiling.
Okay, so
What?
now that we've
What?
put on that show, do we
Torth.
just
We need to finish for
So,
Torth still looks like he's in a bad way. He's still
Oh, no.
coughing.
really? Like he's choking though, or like?
His coughing is going on for a while.
Oh no! God damn it, Torth!
well, sorry, we're not being low profile now.
Yeah.
Nope. You're definitely
Um,
not flying under the radar at the
But he
moment.
hasn't actually taken any stress.
You don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Oh fuck! I asked because I have abilities to reduce stress, but I can't do it
Yeah,
by
and I
don't.
wish I could have rolled on that drink because then I could have like completely like. But no, it's too
You
late.
just,
It's too late.
roll Fix or something? Can you fix him?
Yeah, can I just like
Assess the situation.
can I just like look at Torith for a second and then give him a smack on the back and like see if it dislodges what's like is he
I don't think you
choking
can
like he's
dislodge,
actively
like-
choking or it's
No, it's just one of those.
No, yeah, he's not choking. Like he's not
okay.
dying.
He's
He's
breathing.
Yeah, he's just having an extended coughing fit.
Okay, Torith, you just need to breathe. You're fine. Just
We are
no
out of our element. We thought we could, but we didn't. The wrong one came at the wrong time. And
Yes,
I just try to like fade. I'm trying to just like, oh, we screwed up.
yeah.
So Florentine will take another small sip with the straw, while turned to the bartender and ask, "What is this?"
The bartender comes over and says, "Oh, yeah, that's called rage. It's a little something made down here in Red Row."
Rage. So it just makes people cough.
Well, it doesn't make everybody cough.
Why is it called rage?
Well, it's sort of said that when it's distilled, it picks up some of the qualities of Red Row. And some people it doesn't sit very well with.
Okay.
Is there a way to weed out people that don't belong in Red Row?
Yeah, you do kind of wonder if that drink is sort of a test, perhaps, of people, but you're not sure.
So another complaint for the management then.
But yeah,
Yeah, do I have any way of assessing if... Is there a way to, like, assess someone if they have taken the stress? Like, am I able to spider mom him? Can I, like, like, look, like, take his face and, like, look in his eyes? Are they dilated? And, like, are his pupils dilated?
well, I mean, yes, you can very certainly tell that his eyes are sort of, Taurus' eyes are sort of bloodshot right now.
Oh, no.
And he's still a little bit short of breath. And Torith, you know that still the edges of your vision are like a little bit dark and like you just feel the vision is narrowed. Essentially, Torith he took stress and he took fallout.
Fuck!
I really like this game because I'm not keeping track of this and I have no idea
Yeah!
how much I have.
Just
And
react accordingly.
Yeah, and actually, I should have said that Torith was going to suffer fallout because you're right that Kosas could have done something
Yeah,
for that, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think this worked pretty well.
I mean, it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. I just also want my friends. I just want to be able to save my friends.
As Cahosa is looking at me, I'm just going to just say, like, we should move quickly in finding what we need to find. I fear that I have brought us undue.
Can we
Yes.
see some of the unmasked elfers in the room?
You do not see any in the room, no.
Do we see? Because like this, it's supposed to be under
Mm-hmm.
this room. Is there like any door that's like stairs?
Well, there's the tunnel. There's stairs that go down there's like a tunnel built around them.
And
What do you
we can-
think?
It's not like obscure. Like we can just see that it's there.
You can see it's there. You haven't looked down the stairs yet.
Is it blocked off, or is anyone
You're
guarding it? Has anyone gone down there? Is it like the bathrooms? Could we be all like, oh, I just have to, like, use the bathrooms and like go down there?
So there's nobody guarding the top of the stairs. You haven't gone down there or looked specifically down there.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Can I investigate them?
I mean, sure. You don't even need a roll for that.
yeah.
You could just go check them out. You would only need a roll if you were really trying to be like sneaky about it or something. But
Yeah, we are not sneaky at the moment anyway, so...
Yeah, I don't think I'm a
Yeah.
sneaky person.
the whole thing with Torith and the drink really drew everyone's attention to your
Okay,
group.
so everyone's looking over at Torith. I'm just gonna walk away and like I've checked on my big changey boy and I can't seem to do anything right now, so I want to go investigate the creepy hallway.
Okay. So you go up to the tunnel with the stairs in it, and you can see that the stairs go down, and there's some torches that are dimly illuminating the stairwell.
Okay.
Then you see that there is a gate blocking it off further, and you see someone standing in front of the gate down at the bottom.
So
of the
down
lane.
at the bottom of the like so there's like stairs down at the bottom. There's like a bouncer and a gate.
Mhm.
Does he look like he has a clipboard and is taking admissions?
He does not have a clipboard. He looks very disinterested in his job.
Oh boy. I kind of want to Go talk to that boy down there. Go talk to that. Sorry, what do they look like? Is it a drow?
It is a drow.
It's a drow.
Yes. He's dressed in sort of ragged clothes. And he's actually got tattoos. Like partially you can see them on his neck and going up to his face.
Anything interesting?
They are sort of like white. He's got dark skin.
I was gonna ask if like
they're like white.
If they're like white.
swirls.
That's cool.
But he's just sort of leaning against the gate right now, just arms crossed, just standing there. And there you can see there is like a door in the gate, but it's got a lock across it.
I'll go back to the group to communicate this. Quietly.
All right, you try to communicate it quietly, but still lots of people are staring at Torth.
Do you think that this is a fight our way through, bribe our way through, lie our way through?
I think
Do you
this...
know?
He doesn't...
Be honest.
Yeah, we could...
Or that?
And then the while you're discussing this, the Knoll bartender, perhaps was clearing their throat. It just comes out sort of like a harsh dog bark, and says, "You're trying to get down to the Vermision."
No, we are.
On what business?
Clearing up some unfortunate entanglements.
And the Knoll just sighs a little bit and says, "I'm gonna need you to be a little more clear than that."
Some people have died.
What does that have to do with us? People die around here all the time.
Well, quite unsneakily, you are being the trail led here. And none of us thinks that you are the culprit, rather more than, being used as a middle hand.
So you want to talk to the boss?
That would be good, yes.
Well, the boss is down in the Vermision on one of his little walkabouts that he does. I could let you down there. You'll be on your own. You'll either find him or you won't.
And what do you expect in return?
No, nothing in return. If you survive down there and you find the boss, then that's all you need to prove. Plus, your friend has been very entertaining today.
I'm not sure all of him agrees, though, but...
That statement doesn't even seem to faze the bartender.
Well, yes. We'd like to go down.
Okay. And see the bartender goes over and does something behind the bar. You can't tell exactly what. You just see their hands reach under the bar. And then you see the drow who was guarding there come up to the top of the landing of the stairs. And just sort of gives your group a nod. And the bartender says, "Well, there you go. Try not to die."
We'll
Vermision,
certainly try.
right?
While I intend to die, it will not be here.
Good. I don't recommend dying in the Vermision. It's weird shit.
Torth, would you like to lead the way?
We will. Torith steps forward towards the Vermision.
Okay, so you move over to the Drow. He doesn't even say anything to you. He just sort of opens the lock, swings open the gate, and stands aside.
Florentine is still sipping his drink.
Anyone else taking their drink with them? Imogen didn't even drink any of her drink.
I do not take alcohol from strangers.
Okay, in that case, Florentine pour in some of that alcohol into his.
Have that.
You have the straw, right?
Yeah, the straw.
The guard with the tattoos that was blocking the door that's now letting us through.
Yep.
Aside, he has ratty clothes on, but he's like a big, buff, healthy-looking dude.
Yes. Now that you're close to him, you can tell that underneath the ratty clothes, this Drow is pretty fit.
I put a hand on him as I walk past, and I look him up and down, and I say, "You are a fine specimen, and if ever you want to give to help our people out, please come visit me up at the hatchery. Would be happy to have your donation."
All right. Which hatchery?
Which hatchery am I from again?
You're at the cathedral hatchery.
The cathedral.
He just sort of, you can see him register that. I mean, the cathedral is up Spire from here quite a bit. He just nods. Oh, all right.
I don't know if like Kosa has cards or something, because I think she does this everyone.
Probably don't have business
I
cards.
don't have business cards, but I just let them know where they can come.
That blood.
Yeah.
Although having a business card with like a little like absorption thing where you just put a drop of blood.
Yeah, to test it if they've got
Test
good
his drips.
Oh my God.
if they've got that good tasty blood. Yes, please.
Just some litmus tests. It's fine.
It's for the better of everyone. We need to make sure our race continues to be the best, and this is just an excellent specimen. So, donations welcome. Thank you.
Oh, Spider Mom.
And then proceeds down the stairs.
Okay. And I think we're gonna take a 10-minute break as you guys enter the Vermision. So I think this is a good spot for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll be back in 10 minutes to see what's waiting for us down below, I guess. I'm sure it's fine.
What could possibly go
I mean,
wrong?
Torith feels okay with going into the Vermision.
Yeah. Thanks everyone who's been hanging out. Thank you everyone that came in on the raid. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Meow. That was excellent cough timing. Good job. And we're back.
Hello.
We did it. We're here. How's it going? I hope everyone got up, did a stretch, got some water. And now let's all go, hopefully not to die.
Or to die, you know.
No. Florentine specifically said this is not where he wants to die, so we should respect that decision and not die.
We've died in the Vermision.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so the group goes into the tunnel past the gate. This first stretch of tunnel, it's dark. There are torches down here, but fewer than you're used to. And this just looks like a worked stone tunnel that goes off in quite a way and then just goes into the darkness. Nothing strange at first, except Torith, you definitely feel those weird energies of the Vermision even clearer here.
Mm-hmm. I think we're having a really hard time, like, focusing on, like, who we are. Like, it's a really, yeah.
Yeah, and you also know that the Vermision, the tunnels of the Vermision, sometimes are very normal, sometimes they're not. And then there's the vault, which is sort of a catch-all term for the strange spaces that have been carved out of the Vermision and used for various things.
Non-spaces or whatever.
Yeah, they don't make much
In the
geographical or
interdimensional, yeah,
spatial sense, but
space.
yeah, you're just standing in this tunnel. It's quiet. You don't hear anything.
Does Florentine still have his torch?
No, I left them outside.
But there are torches on the walls here.
So we should take one of those.
Okay.
He does still have his drink though, with a straw.
Yeah.
It's not a swirly straw. It's just
No,
like
it's a metal tube.
Yeah.
Do I have like a sense of which direction to go? Are we just going in a hall, or is it like we come down the steps and it's like a subway tunnel, like left and right?
It's a straight tunnel right now.
Oh, okay.
I do have an ability for a thing, but it's better for if we're looking for something specific.
I think we just keep moving.
Yeah, I guess let's just keep moving forward for now.
One way to go.
I'm guessing we're not in the Vermision proper, but more of the...
No, if we were in the Vermision proper, wouldn't we be kind of like really
mind
messed?
fucks?
Yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't-
It's hard to explain. So that you're in the tunnels, and sometimes the tunnels are remarkably normal, sometimes they are not, and it's really hard to tell when you're going to enter one of the spaces that's not. Then there are also the vault, which is just one term used for all the weird nonsensical spaces that the sages and other people have carved out of the Vermision and its weird effects on space.
Which I can get us into at any time.
Yep.
But you don't want to go in there if you're not me.
But it is possible to also accidentally or inadvertently enter the vault from the Vermision.
Well,
So you're going to keep moving down the tunnel?
yeah, I'm good.
And
Are the torches, like, can you take the torches off the wall?
yes,
Yeah,
they are sitting in like metal rings, and you can just sort of lift them out of the metal ring.
I'll take one. Better safe than sorry.
All right. So you move down the tunnel some, and it's good that you took the torch because the torches on the walls start to thin out and then are just not there anymore. So the only light is coming from the torch that Imogen is carrying, which is enough for you to all see by, but not too far into the distance. Yeah, too far into the distance. I can speak. But yeah, you move down the tunnel, and before where you could hear nothing, now you start to hear strange sounds that don't have any explicable source. They're just you hear like a rattling noise occasionally, sometimes like a whooshing sound of wind. These just randomly happen as you're walking down the tunnel, and you look in the direction of the sound, there's nothing there. Or it's coming from much farther down the tunnel where you can't see. But they're often mechanical noises, and that you just don't have a source or explanation for them. Torith, you're kind of used to that. You've experienced this before in the Vermision.
Mm-hmm.
Torith, are there holes to the outside here?
You said you do know, Torith, that the Vermision itself, the tunnels, some of them are actual tubes that run out through the spire on the outside of the spire, and then like puncture the spire and come back in.
I look at Cahosa. We look at Cahosa. Sort of say, depends on your definition. But yes, no.
That was very informative. Thank you, Tora.
And I put just a smirk, and I'm just like, welcome.
So this is normal?
The Vermision is what the Vermision.
Yeah, again, depends on your definition of normal.
If it decides to be normal, it's normal. Decides to be not normal, also not normal. Oh, am I talking too quiet?
Yeah, I think it's just the sensitivity on your mic.
Yeah. It is normal. It is not normal. It is what it is when it needs to be what it needs to be.
That's not at all helpful.
Imogene, it's your time to ask a question and get no useful answer in response.
I think I'll save mine for later.
Imogene, probably even more than anybody here, you are really out of your element in these tunnels.
Yeah, well, I'm just weighing the out, be like, oh, we could have gone to Amaranth. Is this better? I don't know.
Debatable.
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by better.
And then as you're walking forward and you're having this discussion with Torith, not really getting any clear answers from him, you all hear like a skittering noise up ahead in the tunnels, like a really quick, like just a. Yep.
I figured out what I want my question to be. Do things live here?
So like before Imogene like she says, I figured out what my question to be. Torith looks around and just says, "Yes, things live here."
Oh. Well. All right.
I would like to do a thing. Can I do a
Sure.
thing?
You can do a thing.
I would like to just, after we hear this noise and Imogene and Torith are having this discussion, Kosa's gonna pause for a second and sort of like drop her head, and I think her hair falls in her face, and when she raises her head, she has multiple eyes on her face. And I want to use the eyes of Ishkra, which roll investigate plus occult to cast. On a successful, you see all forms of occult magic in the surrounding area as shimmering webs, including invisible creatures, people, things viewing you remotely, until the end of the current situation.
That's gonna be fun in the Vermision.
Yes, that's gonna be a lot of
I
fun.
know, I feel like I'm about to... that's why I was holding off on using it. I was like, I feel like everything's just gonna light up, but...
Everything everywhere.
I just...
Roll investigation and occult.
Okay.
We're in Tron now.
So... I have both investigation and occult, so I get to roll 3, right?
Yep.
Okay, hang on. Oh, that's not good. Hang on. Oh, that one. What is a 0? A 0 or a 10?
A 10.
Oh, then good. Then very good.
That is very good, yes.
A 10.
Great.
All right. So that is a critical success, which in this case doesn't get you any special bonus, but it's a non-stress success.
Yay. I like not being stressed out.
It's good.
Don't we all?
So yeah, you're described. Yeah, well, you described you lowered your head down. When you look back up, now you have multiple eyes.
Yeah, basically like just spider eye, like those sort of like crystalline multiple eyes, and I think they're kind of looking in every direction, kind of taking everything in. And even like her regular eyes, I think, go black, so that like it's all these dark black multifaceted spider eyes all over her face. Very attractive.
So you see, now you can see any sort of occult energy or magic use. You see, like, it looks like an aurora, but it's shimmering throughout the whole tunnel, and it goes off, and now you can sort of see in the dark better, just because you're seeing these lines and shimmering waves of magic just move down the tunnel. They just seem to be ever present throughout here. You don't see anything that looks like a creature or anything like that. You just sort of see this ambient magic, but you do see a glow up ahead.
A glow up ahead.
Yeah, like a little brighter than.
Is that where the chittering noise came from?
It is.
Okay.
Torith. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think when she sees this, and you described it as like an aurora, and I think she kind of just reaches a hand out to where Torith is standing and touches him, and without even looking at him, still just looking ahead at the dazzling lights, is like, Torith, is this what you see? It's beautiful.
You don't actually see that, Torith.
Oh, damn, I'm so sorry. It's so pretty.
You sort of feel, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I know I know what it feels like, and I just respond with, beautiful, isn't it?
It's, I didn't expect this down here. I didn't expect to see such beauty.
The other two people in the group are probably just creeped out and don't share this opinion at all.
Torith looks at Cahosa and just says, that is possibility. The past and the future, that is the beauty. What could, what is, and what isn't.
That makes me happy, because I like to think that there's lots of possibilities still for us and our people. That's what I strive for every day.
Some possibility is good, some possibility is bad. The Vermision is all.
And you can see, Kosa, as you're looking at these aurora-like effects. So they shimmer, like sort of like waves, but you also start to see them. Sometimes they fold in on themselves. They're almost like up close. They almost look fractal. Some of them will like open up into like flower petals, but some will fold in and just vanish.
Like you're watching an Escher painting of light.
Yeah. I don't know if like
Pretty
we're
much.
supposed to continue forward, but I feel like Kosa is overwhelmed and is still just like standing here taking like this all in. And then maybe shakes it off long enough to say there's something else. There's something else up ahead. I can't see what it is. Is it like around a corner or anything?
You're not sure. You don't see a corner yet, but
Okay.
there might be one.
Yeah, I can't see far away to decipher, but there's definitely, and she points to where she's sort of in the general direction of where she's seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Which the rest of you are just seeing darkness down there. It's outside the torchlight.
We should probably keep moving.
So you move further down the tunnel. And as you get closer, Kosa, you see this first before the torchlight reveals it, but it does fork into like a T intersection. and basically, so you come to this T, and there's a platform, and there looks like there's a tunnel beyond the platform. So it sort of looks like a subway platform, but there's nothing there's no trains running or anything like that. But there was intended to be trains running in the Vermision originally. And the glowing light that you're seeing is coming from the left.
Do I, with my ability, do I get any impression of, you see all forms of occult magic surrounding? Nope, doesn't say. That I don't really know what it is. I just know that there is magic down that way. Well, great. Yeah. So, did we want to go towards the magic? Because if so, it's that way. Pointing to the left where
We came down here to find someone. We can make an assumption that maybe they are magic.
Can I figure out like if that's
What are you trying to figure out?
just to like I'm looking at both of these tunnels and looking to kind of get a sense of maybe if someone has come through here and what direction they've gone, or if that magic tunnel does anything for me. I'm not sure if there's anything I can.
Give me an investigation plus occult.
Well, that I'm good at. Is that 3? Because I have it.
Yeah, if you have both of those, it's 3d10.
Well, that is a 8, a 9, and a 1.
Okay, so the 9, you're fine. It's a success. Tell me what you're doing to try to, because you're trying to figure out if, like, which way they would have gone, or what are you trying to discern?
I'm trying to discern. Guess yeah, I'm trying to discern if where the magic tunnel that Cahosa is describing, if that is the right way to go, or if the person went like the other way.
Okay, so you sort of stop at that intersection, and you look down both ways, and you just sort of go silent for a moment and focus on the energy of the Vermision. And it is definitely stronger from the left, where Kosa described it. You sense that there are entrances to the vault to the left. And though you have no particular, you're not tracking the person in any way that you're trying to find, you do suspect that they would have, if they came down to the Vermision for a reason, they would
were
be
looking for the vault sort of thing.
Yep.
We think that is the correct direction. The vault, or doors to the vault, are there. This person is exploring the Vermision. That is what they're.
That makes sense. Glad you were able to decipher that, because I just see glowing lights. Very pretty ones!
Have you been able to discern where whatever makes the noise?
It's... Oh, I thought you said that the light was in the direction of the noise, Jason.
Well, it was at the end of the tunnel, which is
Okay.
where the noise was coming from.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen anything that's specifically tied to that.
Okay.
Like, you haven't seen any creatures or moving things.
The noise was coming from the same direction as the light before, but now I can't be certain exactly the source. I couldn't see what it was.
Okay, so be careful. Something's down here.
Yeah.
Ready yourselves and your mind. If we walk into the vault, it will be quite a shock.
I'd rather we not go into the vault if that was an option. Can we wait outside the vault for them? Perhaps they'll go in, they'll get deranged, they come out, easy game for us.
We could walk into the vault at any.
But you also know, Torth, that sometimes you can enter the vault not intending to.
It is not a thing that you just open and walk into. I mean, I open it. We open and walk into. Sometimes the vault walks into.
I love the answers that Torth gives that only confuse people more.
The vault was the journey we took along all the way. Just...
I just love being this super weird and vague.
It's very evident.
Well,
Yeah, I suppose let's just proceed forward carefully.
seems like the best course of action.
Hope for the best, be prepared for the worst. The very, very, very worst.
Like how you said that so optimistically.
Drow scouts.
So living a normal drow life.
Yeah. But yes, you continue left along this platform. Kosa, you can still see the trails of energy shimmering and twisting and folding and folding out.
I think Torith is going to kind of take the lead here.
Okay. You can't go too far ahead because you'll lose the torchlight, but
Yeah.
you're probably taking the lead anyway. You're just a little bit ahead of the group. You come eventually to a door that is in the left side of this platform, or left of you as you're walking down the platform. And Kosa, the magic is evidently, appears to be coming from something beyond that door.
Mm-hmm.
It's stronger and through that door.
It's definitely behind there.
Perhaps, Torith, do you want to see what's there before the rest of us follow?
Should we knock?
Oh yeah, is the door closed?
It is closed. Yep.
Okay.
It's a metal door. It's closed. It does. There's no visible lock or anything on it. You haven't tried to open it yet. But...
Does it appear as if it's been tampered with recently? Does it look recently used?
Kosa, give me an investigation plus occult roll.
Investigate plus what?
Occult.
I have all those things! I got another 0!
Oh, so another critical success. Jeez. Okay. You are studying the door. You haven't touched it yet, but you're looking at it very carefully. And with your special eyesight given to you by the Spider Queen.
My many spider eyes.
Yes, your many spider eyes. You do see shimmers of magic that are around the handle to the door. It looks like something has been through here recently. Something that is in some nature magical and left a bit of a trace.
Someone has definitely been using this door, so I don't know. Do we want to knock? Do we want to maybe let Torth peek in first?
What's the worst
Yeah,
that can
Torith.
happen?
So
And Florentine just opens the door.
Oh my
Okay.
god, damn it, Florentine!
As far as he does that, Imogene is going to take like many steps back.
Okay. So Florentine reaches for the door handle. Imogene's taking some steps back. The other two of you were sort of discussing this, and Torth was considering something. Florentine just opens the door.
No more consideration.
So this is what happens. It's a little bit strange. As Florentine opens the door, everybody, all four of you, feel like a lurching sensation for a moment, and it's almost like space kind of bubbles around you, and then you are standing in a room. Like you didn't even walk through the doorway. You're just in a room, and
But I backed up. Like I
This-
backed up so far.
this room isn't even quite right. As you're standing in it, it looks like it should be a small space, but as you look up to the ceiling is a reflection of the space below it. It doesn't look like a mirror, it just looks like a copy of everything. You can see yourselves looking down at you. And I need Florentine, Kosa, and Imogene to make a resist plus occult roll.
Oh no.
Oh god, used up all my good rolls. I failed that for sure. I got a 1 and a 3.
Oh no! I got a 1 and a 9,
Oh.
so I'm gonna take that 9 right to the bank.
I
Okay.
was
Yeah,
I was
I also
go ahead.
got a 9.
Okay.
Distracted by making good plans while some people were being rash.
So, Kosa, especially because you can currently see the magic in all things, the space you're in just suddenly shifts, and
Ugh.
you're overwhelmed at first by the amount of shimmering and the unusual twisting around you. Like it's moving around you in ways that are just not natural, and it's all mirrored. It's like looking into a kaleidoscope, where you're just seeing all these images folding around
Cool.
you, and it's making you extremely dizzy.
Yeah. I feel like Kosa is like down on her knees, like probably covering her many eyeballs from the overstimulation of all this.
So you're taking some mind stress.
Fair.
Sorry, I did not intend that.
Well, it happened.
We were going to prepare you, but you opened the door too quickly.
Is this the vault, Torith?
This is the vault, right, Jason?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
some piece of the vault for sure.
This is a section.
Sorry, just okay.
He's looking for your.
I was just applying mind stress to Kosa.
Oh,
Yeah, I was wondering if
Take
I
your
already
time.
had any mind stress, honestly.
I'm not sure if you did, but you have a bunch of stress of various types right now.
That's good.
No
Oh.
fallout yet, though. Not yet.
Florentine will bow down a little bit and hand and offer the liquor. The Kosa.
Yeah, your whole world is just spinning and nonsensical, Kosa. You're still like a little overwhelmed.
So Florentine just offers like the straw drink.
Yes.
I think Kosa, without remembering, because she's so overstimulated that this is like a really strong alcohol, takes a sip from the sippy straw and then promptly spits it out. Not having, thinking it was maybe like water or something.
Right, so you spit it on the floor. But
Yep.
it does like seem to recenter you a little bit. You're starting to get used to it. You don't know if it's actually alcohol or just a distraction by drinking it and then realizing what you were doing and spitting it out. But you're now starting to adjust a little bit. You're still seeing things that are all sorts of weird, like the shimmering lights around you, and then them up also everything copied above you, including the shimmering lights. But you're starting to orient yourself where it's not as disorienting.
I think after like after Kosa took that sip and spit it out and kind of turned away and then has a moment where she's feeling better and like is like wait and reaches back up for the drink and then takes like another like little sip and then gives it back and then starts to like stand up, you know, when you put up like one knee and then you like kind of help yourself up on your own knee.
Can I move to Kosa and help her up?
Sure. Absolutely.
And as I'm helping her up, we say, "This is a harsh place, but remember yourself. Think of who you are now. Focus on what you've done. I just kind of want to help like fix her a little bit, just, you know, using what I know. You are yourself here. You may not feel like you are. Think of the deeds you've done. Think of who you are. Focus on that.
And are you making like a fix check?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna say it's a fix plus occult roll.
Excellent, because I have all of those as well. 9 is my highest.
Okay, that's good. Just checking.
I think Kosa's kind of just looking down with her many eyes closed, and is just listening to Torth's words.
Okay. Torth, give me a D3 roll. So a D6 divided by 2.
D6 divided by 2. 1.
Okay.
I mean, I rolled a 2, so that's a
Yep.
1.
So you cleared a point of mind stress from
Oh, nice.
Kosa. His words are a little bit reassuring, and you are able to focus a little more clearly. And now that you are focusing, I can sort of describe what you see around you in the room. Aside from the top half of the room being a reflection of the lower half of the room, you're in sort of what once might have been a small library. There are shelves here, but all the shelves are empty. There is a small like study desk and a chair. And then there's also a large mirror on a stand. But the strange thing about the mirror, well, there are a few strange things about the mirror. One, it's cracked, and there are pieces that have fallen out of it and are on the floor, just jagged shards on the floor. And there's blood, dried blood, on the area where it's cracked, and on some of the shards. And Kosa, you can see the shards. The mirror is magical, and the shards have little glowing magical like sigils along the edges of the shards and where they're cracked in the mirror.
So the where it's cracked, there's sigils,
Yes.
and they're glowing.
Like along the cracks and on the edges of the shards that are on the floor. And yeah, they're to you they're glowing, and no one else sees them. They just see the shards and the broken mirror and the dried blood.
Okay.
And the mirror is also just inherently magical.
Okay. I think she is still resettling a little bit. I think she has a hood on her robe she puts up to like give a bit of a like blinder on it, like around her head, and she does turn to Toreth and say, "Those words were not nonsense. Thank you." That, and she points to the mirror, is that something we need? It's very, very magic from the look of it.
Torith will turn their head and see the mirror, and we'll walk up to it and investigate like the blood and the pieces.
Okay. Yeah, give me an investigation plus occult roll. See what you can find out.
8 is my highest.
Okay, so you succeed. You cannot see the sigils or the magical aura that the mirror has, but you can also feel that this mirror. It seems to actually like. It feels like it's drawing you in, that you want to investigate it.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that the dried blood that's along the cracked edges of it is not recent. It's fully dried, it's probably been there for a long time. Also, one slightly unusual thing about it is the shards that have been broken out of it are fairly large pieces, and they fit exactly back in. Like, there are no like tiny broken pieces. They're just like 3 shards on the floor that would fit right back into the gaps.
Then Torith is gonna do exactly what I was thinking of doing.
Can
I'm gonna,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick up one of those pieces and put it back into the mirror, curiously.
Okay, so you
And
pick
I'm
up.
just sort of like, kind of like, haven't focused, and I'm like, or we're like, we wonder, and I just kind of put it up near the, like, holding it close to the hole, and then slowly put it into place.
Okay. You put it into place, and as soon as one shard is put back into place, it melds back into the mirror. You see some of the cracks like mend, and that section of the mirror is now whole again. But there are still the broken parts where the other 2 shards were.
Is that safe?
I was gonna say, am I able to read the sigils at all?
They don't make any sense to you. And once the shard is melted back in, the sigils that were in the piece and along the cracks in that area go away.
Did you let us know that there were sigils?
Not yet. I think when Florentine says, "Is that safe?" Kosa's like, "I worry about that course of action, Torith. There's writing on the broken pieces, and when you put that one back, they disappeared."
Kohosa, you did not tell us they were writing.
Well, I didn't assume you would instantly go and start putting the magical mirror back together again.
Kohosa,
something-
I take
We
a piece.
just went through a magical door and it went very poorly, so perhaps we should hold off on the doing magical things we don't know about.
So something else strange happened when you added that one piece back in. That was subtle at first, and when the 2 of you were talking, you didn't notice it until there was a break in the conversation. One wall of the room has sort of gone strangely concave, like it warps, like out away from you. It's just like it bubbled out a little bit. Not in any way that makes any sort of physical sense, but
I think this is all weird, and I think this is just normal.
Does any of us, the rest of us, notice this?
yes, you do now.
Is this whole room a mirror itself?
Can you describe the sigils on this piece? I take one of the other pieces and I hold it up.
So, Kosa, you try to describe them. The problem is they keep shifting as you're trying to describe them. They're constantly changing.
Yep. They are moving. I can't read them, and they are moving, so it's a little hard.
Do I understand the nature of what she's describing, though?
You know, it may be some sort of like arcane language.
Okay.
There are a number of languages in this world that you're aware of that are considered arcane. Some of them are forbidden languages. It may be one of them, but since you can't see the lettering, there's no real way for you to know which one it might be.
But the mirror, like I feel the pull of the mirror, right?
Yes, you feel that, like you almost want to investigate it and want to put it back together.
Yeah.
Have you told us that you're feeling this pull? Have you told us that the mirror is telling you to do this, Torith?
I'm getting around to that just right now.
Is there anything in the mirror? Like, if you look into it, like, do you just see your reflection?
Oh, well, thank you for asking that.
Oh, God.
You look into the mirror, you don't see your reflection. At first, you thought when you first entered the room that it was just the broken area, wasn't reflecting right. But you go and sort of approach it and look straight into one of the whole sections of it, and it's there's nothing. Your reflection is not there. You can see the rest of the room reflecting back, but not you.
Do I see any reflections in the mirror?
Not of yourselves, just of the room.
It seems this mirror is broken in more ways than one.
Unless that's its intent in its magical ability. There's something.
A mirror to not see anything.
Considering we are in a very magical place, perhaps the mirror is reflecting sometime else.
Oh,
Mirrors can often be doors. And this is telling us to put it back together.
I don't.
There is no exit from this vault other than the way we came in. And that might not take us back to the way we were. I am curious.
we could be
I
looking.
pick up another piece and I put it.
No! You put that down!
Take the mirror.
Did you actively try to stop him?
I'm gonna try and grab his hand. I'm gonna try and stop him.
Oh boy, what is this?
I'm going to resist that in some way.
Okay. Wait, what skill would this be? Look at my little cheat sheet that has the skills on it. Each of you give me a.
Are we fighting? Is this a fight? Because
I don't think
I
it's
was
a
gonna say,
fight
like,
yet.
Like maybe like a compel and a resist.
Yeah, I mean, usually you don't do 2 skills, but I don't see how this would be a
I mean,
domain
one
at
of them
all.
does compel and one of them does resist.
Yeah, sure. So give me a 1d10 plus another 1d10 if you have compel Torith, and a 1d10 and another 1d10 if you have resist Kosa.
neither of those.
I have a compel. So that's a 6.
I lost.
Okay, so you reach out to knock it out of his hand, but Torith sort of moves around you a little bit and shoves the piece in the spot where it matches up, and it melds together. There's a well, to Kahosa, you can see a little like light outline around the piece. The rest of you just sort of see it almost like liquid meld back in.
And I look, like, as I put it in, I looked where the concave was happening.
The concave gets deeper, like the space warps out even more.
Is it starting to, like, look like it's forming like a tunnel or a door?
It does. It's starting to.
Can we not continue to do magical things until we've investigated the room and know what it does, please?
I say when they were like scuffling, is the third piece like on the floor too?
Damn it!
Mm-hmm. It is. Yep.
All right, I want to pick it up, like during their scuffle, and like, do I feel anything, like holding it?
Just actually, yes. Once you pick up the shard, you feel like you want to put it back into the mirror. It's not impossible to resist that. It's just
Right.
you just feel like an urge, like a curiosity to put it back in the mirror.
Yeah, and while they are there, can I find? Is there something on the study?
So there's a desk and there's a chair.
I'm looking at the desk.
Okay. On top of the desk, there's nothing. There's not even like a light source or anything. It's just a blank wooden desk. But as you're investigating, you notice it lifts up, like it's like those old school desks that the top lifts up on. You lift it up, and there is a book inside.
I will pick up the book and see what it is.
Okay, you pick up the book. Kahos is sort of busy talking to Torith, so she doesn't even really notice what you're doing with the desk. It's a good-sized book. It looks like it's got hundreds of pages. It's got some weight to it, but nothing happens when you pick it up. It's just,
is it readable?
you flip through it, and you see letters on the pages, but you try to focus on them and try to read them, and you just can't. They like stay out of focus the entire time you're looking at the page.
Kahosa, Does this book have the same letters that you saw on the shards? I will run over.
When Florentine says book, I don't even look at the mirror anymore, and I turn to Florentine. And I say, book?
Does it look the same as the sigils?
It does, yes, and they're shifting. They're magical and they're shifting. You can't really read them either, but
Yes.
It's quite headache-inducing.
Yes.
it is.
That's what I'm seeing. They're moving and they're hard to read, and I couldn't tell them. That's it.
I'm gonna move in front of the mirror.
I'm gonna move towards the book. Like,
Yeah,
I
the
get
rest,
out-
the other three of you are currently focused on the book.
Yeah, and I will give the book to
Yeah.
Torith because
While everyone else is distracted by this book.
and I'm gonna grab the book and I'm gonna look through it.
All right, and are you gonna put the piece back in the mirror?
I'm just gonna like stand there and I'm just gonna like turn back and like look at everybody looking at the book. Just be like, it just wants to be fixed. It just wants to be whole again.
we all
Did
want
it-
to be
And I'm
fixed.
going to put the
Did
piece in the mirror.
Did it tell you that? Did it say that to you in those words? Because this is not.
I don't know how much she pulled your attention away from the book or not, but before any of you can really
Oh,
do
no.
anything about it.
I didn't assume I could react, but if she said that out loud.
Yeah.
But
As I'm
she's
looking
our-
at the book, I just smile because I hear her saying that as well.
You put the final shard back in. It
That's the final shard? No!
yes, there were 3 of them.
There's also blood on that mirror. That blood would probably like to be back in the person it's from, but you don't know what happened with that.
It's old blood.
So- When she puts the final shard back in the mirror, there's sort of a rippling like you saw when the other shards went in, and it's the mirror's whole. The blood is gone,
Mm,
and Imogene, you see your reflection in the mirror.
Okay.
Um,
and then you're
and-
gone.
you're not gone.
Don't put that into the universe.
Too late, you
But-
did that.
It's what it wanted.
So you see your reflection in the mirror, but you are even more beautiful than you've ever seen yourself. And I mean, you're an idol. You are used to looking pretty good in the mirror, but there's just something unearthly and beautiful about your reflection. And you're sort of fixated on it.
Do I feel anything because my back is turned to the mirror? Do I feel anything as I'm like looking through this book? And can I see anything better than anybody else saw in the book?
No, you see the same shifting, unfocused letters that Florentine saw. The book, like, it's weird as you're holding it, and as she puts the last shard in, the book almost feels heavier in your hands. And you do also see the concave section of the far wall actually does bubble out even further and opens into a dark tunnel.
Is the reflection like reacting as if it's like just like a normal mirror, but it's just like a filter, like a
Is there
really
like a-
good
Is there
filter?
like a delay in it? Oh,
No, it is reacting as a normal reflection. Though I guess your filter concept is pretty apt. I mean, because you appear like more perfect in the reflection. So I guess it's sort of like a Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
Can
But,
I
like,
look?
if I like touch my face or like reach out to the mirror, like it's like a mirror,
Mhm.
not like mirror me's not doing anything.
But yeah, but tell me, what do you touch your face and do you reach out to the mirror?
Yeah, like I think it takes like a second to like really notice, and yeah, I just kind of like will like touch my face and then pull away and like turn back to like seeing they're not paying attention. So I'm
Yeah.
so I'm like want to reach out and like kind of touch it.
Okay.
Spider Mom is absolutely focused on Imogene at this point.
Oh.
Okay,
She's letting the
but
boys look at the book, and she's like, she didn't stop her. She's just watching now.
Yeah, so you see her touch her face, and then you see her reach out to the mirror.
Does Cahosa see a different reflection, or
Osa does not see. Well, she sees Imogene's reflection,
But it's
not
like
her
the
own.
normal. It's like the normal one. Or
No,
do I see that it's like this beautified?
You do see like this really beautified reflection of just Imogene. You don't see your own reflection, and Imogene doesn't see reflections of anyone else in the room.
Okay, I'm watching.
As you touch it, at first you feel like the cold surface of the glass of the mirror. Then you feel fingers. And basically the fingers curl around yours like they're holding your hand.
Oh god.
Interesting.
You pull away, and the hand's still holding yours, and the idealized Imogene steps out of the mirror.
do I feel anything now?
Nothing with the book, although all of you notice the Imogene walk out of the mirror. The
Am
second image.
Am I able to grab our Imogene and pull her back? Like,
I love it. I love it.
Sure, you grab her and you sort of pull her back, and you break the grip that the copy had. But the copy's still standing there.
Could you please get back to the mirror where you belong?
Never. And you see her.
Okay.
Her
exactly like that.
Her fingertips extend into mirror claws.
I will pull up my gun and shoot her.
Okay. So, one thing about Spire combat, there's no initiative because everything's based on taking actions that all carry risk. You can basically act whenever you want. You take damage from failed rolls. You don't take damage from the opponent doing something. So basically, if you act out against this thing and you roll badly, then it is hit you back, essentially. And you can act in any order. You can act multiple times because you're just taking more risk the more things you do. So Florentine just whips out his pistol and fires, and that's your one-shot dueling pistol too, right?
Yes.
And did you have Sacred Shot
Yes.
active on that?
And I'm gonna.
Yeah, because he was carving the bullet.
I remember that last session.
I also need to look up. Okay, so I roll with mastery the first shot as well
Okay.
because it's surprising.
God, I love everything.
So this will be a fight plus a cult roll.
Yeah, and I don't have a cult, so.
Okay, but you do have mastery, so you'll still get an
Yes.
extra. So you'll
Yes.
3 to 10.
Do people have fight in here? Do we have fight?
Yep.
Florentine does now, and Kosa does. Florentine
That-
just got it.
That's a high 5.
That's great.
Oh, so I'm checking, but yeah, that's a failure.
Now I get to see what it looks like to see myself get shot.
Yeah.
Well, no, not exactly, because he failed.
Yeah.
So you fire, and you whip out your gun and you aim it and you fire, but the mirror version of Imogene moves unnaturally fast. Your bullet would have hit any normal person, you're almost certain. But she's there 1 second and she's not there another second. And where she moves to is right in front of you, Florentine, and just rakes her claws across you, those mirrored claws.
Yeah.
So what am I doing? Rolling a die because I have a thing that does this.
Do we have hit points? How does that work?
It's all
It's all the
stress. So it's blood
stresses.
Oh, that's
stress. Well, it's usually blood stress.
Yeah.
Um,
And I have no resistance in blood.
Fortunately, though, the claws just lightly sort of graze across your chest. They do draw blood as they pass over you, but it's not deep cuts. But yeah, she's right in front of Florentine now.
I'm still, I still have a hand on Imogene because I just pulled her back. With my other hand, though, I'm taking out my weighted chain and I'm, like, unfurling it like a whip and just, like, sending it out, trying to shatter this mirror monster.
So you're attacking the mirror or the monster? Or the Imogene?
Oh, that's a good point. Do I wanna... She looks flesh and blood now, but you said she has mirror claws.
She does look flesh and blood, but yes, she has like long fingernails that are mirrored. And
I
currently
want
have
to
some
shatter the
14.
mirror because I told them not to put this fucking thing back together.
There's a door now.
Ah!
As this is all happening, I'm not even paying attention to all that. I'm walking.
Just reading the book.
No, I'm walking towards the mirror with the book.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm taking in everything, but I'm walking towards the mirror. And
Okay, so if Torith's in the way, then I'm not attacking the mirror.
We need the tunnel.
Because I'm curious about the
Okay.
mirror.
I wouldn't. If Torith's standing in the way, I wouldn't.
So are you going to attack it, or are you gonna hold
Then
on?
yeah,
for it?
I'll attack. I'll attack the thing attacking Florentine.
Okay, so give me a fight plus a cult roll.
Listen, I just want to remind y'all of the immortal words of the genius Arthur Weasley. Don't trust anything if you can't see where it keeps its brain. Like, a 7.
Okay, so that's a partial success. And your weighted chain is a D3, so if you give me a D6 divided by 2.
3.
So that was 3 after you divided it by 2?
Oh, no. That was
Okay.
a 3.
So that'd be 2 after divided. Okay.
I was like, oh, nice.
But it also has the connotation of concealable and stunning.
Yep. So you have a choice with
Uh-huh.
stunning.
It's a very pretty chain.
Yes.
Sparkles.
That's why I said you saw something shining on her hip. A chain
That
whip.
is absolutely stunning.
I know. It's really lovely. It's been passed down through the generations. I keep it shiny. Thank you for noticing.
Shiny.
So the choice with stunning is you can choose to not do any stress damage to it, and instead reduce their difficulty to 0 until they gather the senses. But you don't have any knowledge that they have difficulty right now.
Yeah.
That's usually something that subtracts dice when you try to act against it, and nobody has subtracted any dice yet. So
Okay. So I'll just I'll just do the hit and see what effects it has because we haven't seen it get hit yet, right?
right.
So I'm kind of trying to see what's gonna happen with this thing.
So you basically send your chain, you kind of fling your weighted chain over at it, and you do sort of smash into the back right shoulder of the creature. It was looking at Florentine, so it didn't seem to react as quickly to you.
Mm-hmm.
And when your weighted chain hits it, instead of like leaving a bruise or blood, there's actually like fractured cracks
Mm-hmm.
that pattern out from her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing the same outfit that Imogene is wearing, and the cracks are like on the outside of the whole image, basically. So on the outside of the clothing.
Ooh, that
She's
looks
very-
so cool.
Is this like a who wore it best and it's mirror Imogene because she's prettier than
It's a mirror Imogene.
Oh.
no.
Sorry.
But also, when you do
Not
that,
fine.
when you hit it and the cracks expand out, then there's like a burst of shards that fly out at you.
Oof. Okay.
From the shoulder.
Yep.
And you take some blood stress.
Okay. Give me.
Give me that bit.
I do
Not
have
too bad.
I have 3 resistance to blood
Yep.
though.
Yes, and this wasn't that bad. Like the shards fly out at you, and you get some scratches.
So do the
But-
resistances work like armor? Like does it cancel some of it out or does it work like
So it's like a buffer. Until you exceed your resistances, I don't roll for fallout. Like you don't suffer any fallout risk.
Okay.
Like once you've exceeded your resistances, or if you have no resistance in something, every time you take stress to it, I roll to check to see if there's fallout.
Okay.
I don't make that roll right now because you're still in your resistances.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, the rest of you just see this shattered part of her shoulder, and shards sort of spray out towards Kosa.
And I just took
So
some
I-
like scratches, you said?
Yeah, it just scratched you.
Okay.
This is weird. Like we don't take turns. Like,
Nope. It's just
Um,
this thing's still up in Florentine's
Yeah.
face though.
and
I
I'm looking in the mirror right now while I'm holding the book.
So I will once say that when you're looking in the mirror right now, you see no reflections of people in the mirror, just the room.
And not even the people, like, I don't see anybody.
Correct. None
Not
of the
even
four of you reflected in the mirror.
Or the mirror person.
Or the mirror person, yeah.
he has a name.
It's mirror image.
Mirror imaging.
Mirror imaging.
All right, I'm going to do something that doesn't seem correct in the middle of a fight, but I am going to take out of my little pouches that I have some pretty jewelry and put it on, and I'm going to use it to use my skill Majesty, that I anoint myself with pigments and jewelry, make a compel plus occult roll. If I succeed, I cannot be the target of any attacks.
Okay. So make your roll for that.
Yep. That's an 8.
All right, that's a success. So yeah, if you succeed for the next minute or so, you cannot be the target of any attacks until you make an attack yourself.
Mhm.
People can still block your path, but they can't grab or attempt to restrain you until the spell is broken.
That's kind of cool.
So I feel a little
I'm just
safe.
curious, do you look in the mirror while you're putting the jewelry on?
My reflection's standing in front of Florentine.
That's true. That would really help.
No, yeah, I just know. I feel like it's all, she can wear makeup in the dark. But I think after that, like once I feel like a little safer, I want to start kind of moving towards the tunnel that opened up in the back of the boat.
Okay.
And
You're not going to go through it yet, but you're going to move
oh god,
through
no.
it? Okay.
I'm done touching things and going places on my own. But like I have, like we still have the torch. Like, is there anything to be seen down there, or is it just like black all the way down?
So as you approach it with the torch, it looks like another worked stone tunnel.
Hmm.
There's no longer any visible trace of weird warping or anything. It looks like it was always there, but it wasn't.
Sure, there's some timeline where it was always there.
I want to switch my pistol around and use it as a club to hit.
Okay. Gonna like pistol whip the mirror imaging.
So like this whole time, Imogene walks over there. I'm looking at the fight, and I'm looking at the mirror, and I'm looking at the tunnel, and I'm just very curious about all of it, and I'm just trying to put it together.
like Spider-Man gift.
And I look at the fight, and I take the book, and I give the mirror just a little like whack, almost hard enough to break it, but. And I'm just like cocking my head to the side to see if that gets the attention of the.
No.
Oh, okay.
You whack the mirror with the book, and it doesn't break the mirror, and it also doesn't seem to the mirror imaging doesn't seem to notice.
Mirror
And you're
imaging is still just.
No, that wasn't at all intentional.
You
But
should
yeah,
have known I was going to be the one to touch the freaking mirror.
I did have a sense that maybe you would, but I still didn't ever make that connection of mirror imaging. But yeah, so you're gonna try to pistol whip it.
Yep.
All right, so that's a fight plus occult.
Fight plus occult, so the only 2 dice, but it's a 6.
All right, so it's a partial success. So you're now like deep in melee with this mirror imaging. You bash her with the pistol. I'm gonna say that's a D3.
Yeah, because
Right.
it's improvised weapon, so I already. So that's a 2.
Okay. And while you're doing that, she's clawing you. And... All right, again, so she claws at your arm while you're doing this, and it's not a deep cut. They're just scratches that rake down your arm. You are seeing like blood welling up where the claws were, but they're not like deep lacerations. They're actually similar to the shards that hit Kosa. They're just like shallow cuts. But yeah, you're just like tangling, fighting with this version of Imogene.
I hope the glass is clean so that the wounds doesn't get infected.
Fine.
Kosa, are you doing
Yeah.
anything else after you got sprayed with glass shards?
Yeah, I mean, does it still count as attacking it with my weighted chain if because it's attacking Florentine right now, right?
Mhm.
If I take the chain and come up behind it and try and get it around its neck and pull it off him, or and then try and like squeeze it and do damage that way?
Yeah, so I will absolutely allow that. It would still be a fight plus occult roll.
Okay.
It just may have like secondary effects, like you may be able to pull it away from
Well, let's try.
Florentine.
That is an 8.
All right, that's a success. So roll me a d3.
6. So 3.
So 3.
Yeah.
All right. So you wrap the chain around like her neck and just pull.
Mhm.
And she gets pulled away from Florentine. And then you're just pulling and pulling harder, and you hear a crack. And the whole head of the mirror Imogene just shatters at the neck and falls forward, hits the ground, and shatters into a million pieces.
Whoops.
But
Aw.
right as you're doing that, I mean, you all see that happen, and it's, definitely the craziest thing happening in the room right now is this head shattering into a million pieces. Torith, as you're standing near the mirror with the book,
My image appears.
no, your image doesn't appear, but you feel suddenly like pushed. Like it's like the book just suddenly has force to it, and you just like bodily get pushed back into the mirror. You don't knock it over, but you just kind of slam into it, and the book felt really heavy for a moment, but then everything is normal a split second later.
Well, I hope that isn't bad luck.
So many years.
So many years bad luck. That's
And
terrible.
the rest of the mirror image body just falls to the ground. It's still there.
Is
but-
it still moving? Is it still fighting or doing anything? No. Okay. I thought maybe the body might continue to fight.
Does the head is still animated?
No, and it isn't. The head is in a million pieces. Just
Okay.
little glass shards, mirror shards.
Oh.
I did not intend for that to happen. Perhaps we should.
Oh. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm just gonna... and I will reload my gun.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time for Florentine to reload his dueling pistol, so he just starts like packing the ammunition into it. Probably have a little
I was looking it up, and it seems like if it's one shot, it takes so long to load, so you can't use it even if you spend a turn loading it or something. So
Yeah, something would have to like not be attacking you so you could take the time and reload it.
Yeah.
But you're doing that now.
And I was thinking,
and I think like as we're waiting, and I'm like thinking about how pretty Mirror Imogene was, and I'm gonna take my mask out and put it back on.
Aww. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all see her do that. You don't necessarily know why, but
Yeah, it's like a Phantom of the Opera type
Yeah,
half mask.
just the top like over
Top and then like a little side of
one
the
eye or both.
Yeah, one eye or both. It's good. It's like one of these. Like so, it's just like mouth.
you can see her mouth. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Kosa walks over to Florentine And, how do I want to do this? I've been playing a lot of touchy-feely games lately, so I have to be careful about what kind of touches I do. Intentional or unintentional. This is a very intentional touch. Kosa is totally the lead in this. She's like, well, that was admirable of you to fight, but we might have to fight more. And she puts her hand on your cheek, and she's going to Canticle of Remaking you to heal you your blood stresses.
And you have to make a roll for that, right?
Yep, I have to roll. On a success, I can heal myself D6 stress, but I can only heal another person D3 stress.
Yep.
So hang on. Hopefully I roll well. I got 0!
All right, so it's a critical success.
Yay.
Since that a critical success allows you to usually get +1 stress, so I'm going to say you can heal +1 stress. So roll your D3 and add 1 to the result.
I rolled a 5.
So you got a 3, so you heal 4.
Yes.
All right.
Hopefully you feel better.
Probably.
It's like none of us know what our stress is.
Don't trust that there isn't more things to fight in here.
Yeah, Florentine. So, basically, the Canticle of Remaking. That's So she binds your lacerations,
With
the shallow
webs.
lacerations, with like ethereal webbing.
I thought I just had to touch him, but you're right. I guess I would.
Yeah, you sort of like
I spider web you a little bit, so you get a little webby, a little.
But as soon as those webs sort of are over the lacerations, you feel immediately much better.
Okay, that's better, yeah. I feel like new.
Oh, that's nothing, darling. You should see when I put someone to a full cocoon. That will make you feel much better. We'll do that another time.
And then I will take out the bullet and I will make some markings on it and mark 1 blood.
Okay, so you
You
like
bugger.
one blood yourself.
I should have let you do that first, then.
Yeah,
I
I
just
was
did
thinking
that
about that as well, but then that would have been metagaming, so.
Do I see you, like, draw blood to make this?
No.
No? Okay.
It's one of those I can decide if I want to make blood or mind.
Mm-hmm. I was just wondering for in the future, if this is something I would know.
But yeah, you create your sacred shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's still that tunnel. And you're still holding the book, right, Tor?
Yeah, so like I'm like still like staring at the mirror and the book, and I have my own journal out on top of the book, and I'm just taking a bunch of notes, and I'm like oblivious to everything that's like going on with you guys.
So did that whole thing actually just happen without Torith even noticing?
I mean, I saw the mirror and I saw the fight, but I was really more interested in everything that was happening.
So he's been ignoring Kosa healing Florentine, and Florentine reloading his weapon and making a sacred shot. None of that is really registered with Torith.
Yeah,
He's
I'm like
focused on his journal.
Yeah, I think
journaling.
we came down here to find someone. He wasn't back the way we came. We probably should. And I'm gonna look down the tunnel.
Yeah.
Probably go.
Is there nothing else in this room that we can see? Kosa is like looking around. It's literally, we found that book. We saw the mirror.
There are empty bookshelves, but there's nothing in them.
Is there anything in them? Like, if you look into the mirror, does the room look exactly the same in the reflection?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
That's good. Good thought.
I like that you did a little smirk though at first, Jason.
Yes.
A little.
I
To this mirror.
Does it look like people have been walking here sort of recently, but not yesterday?
It does look like someone has been through this room. Like, there's a lot of dust in this room.
Yeah.
But you do see like footsteps or where it's been disturbed.
Yeah. So
Kosa, do you still have your Eyes of Ishkra in effect? Is that for the whole?
It says situation, so I don't know what you determine is
so I
a
think it's
situation.
ended now.
We're definitely in a different situation.
Yeah, and I've done multiple other things since then,
Yep.
so I feel like they may have dropped just from all that. I simply still just question a few of the things in here. But
That is easy to do in the Vermision, but if the Vermision gives you a path, sometimes it's safe to follow.
Yeah, and Kosa, you still like now that the fight is over, you still feel like woozy and confused
yeah,
from your whole experience earlier.
yeah.
You're not feeling great.
I don't like it.
Like that this whole time Torth acted like nothing really was.
I know. That's what I mean.
The sooner we find what we came for, the sooner we can leave, and your mind may be more at ease once we're gone.
I just don't understand. If the blood on the mirror was old, but people came through and they had to use the path, that was recent. So,
Perhaps there are other paths.
are there no other paths in this room, is my question. Is that truly the only one?
Or does the Vermision choose which path we are given versus
Also,
somebody else that comes?
You are applying logic to a thing that is not logical in its design. Remember what I said. Focus on remembering who you are. And
Also, blood when it dries tends to look pretty old, perhaps after a day or two. So
Oh, I thought the investigation of the blood said it was very, very old.
It seemed old,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean,
I feel like Kosa is someone that knows blood. I just feel like...
that is true. However, like Torth was implying,
It's not a logical
very
place.
little makes sense.
Okay, fine. Let's all just...
I like how unnerved Kosa is by the whole fact that nothing is what it could be.
Yeah, nothing makes sense.
This place is weird and uncomfortable.
And Kosa definitely feels uncomfortable by it. Like, really feels out of it and confused and.
Yep.
She likes order and taking care of things, and like this place has none of that.
Yep.
if it doesn't lead us to any place where we can find who we are looking for, we can always return. What?
Are you certain that just because there's a way in, that there's a way out?
You can't be certain of anything.
Torth just smiles and starts walking down the tunnel,
Yes, that's
carrying
nice.
his big book.
I'm going to follow Torth.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say because Torth can do that, but he doesn't have the torch. So.
I will follow Torth.
Oh, is it like... Sorry, it's dark?
Down the tunnel.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that it's like dark.
Yeah, I
But
forgot
I
that
keep
part.
walking.
Okay. Welp.
So I know Imogene and Torth are starting to walk down the tunnel. Are the other two following?
Yeah.
Because Imogene is also taking the torch with her. But...
Yep.
Yeah, we're following the torch.
Yep.
Okay.
And following the guide.
So you walk down the tunnel for a bit, and it doesn't branch away or anything, but maybe a minute, maybe 45 seconds walking down the tunnel, you see a torchlight ahead in the dark. It's too far to make any any detail, but you do see a glowing torchlight up ahead.
Is it mirroring?
No,
Like, is
and
it
it is
getting-
not. And it is not moving.
Oh, okay.
So it could just be a sconce or something.
Someone has been here anyway, so
Well, perhaps it is the person we are looking for.
one can hope. Hope usually leads to doom, though, but...
Perhaps for you. Let's keep moving.
Okay, you keep moving, and you get closer and closer to the torchlight. And as you do, eventually you can make out some detail. You can see that the tunnel opens into a larger room where this torch is. That's at first all you can see. You get closer, and you can see the torch is up on a wall sconce, but then you also see a person sitting cross-legged on the floor below the torch. And that's all the detail you can make at that point, unless you keep going forward.
Can we like call out to them?
What would you say?
Hello?
Are you a mirror image here to kill us? No.
You call out and you say hello, and at first the form doesn't seem to respond. Then they turn their head in your direction, and they say, "Oh, you finally made it. Wasn't sure you would survive."
Hopefully we did not keep you waiting long.
Long is a flexible term here.
Very flexible.
Everything seems to be a flexible term here.
But if you've come this way to find me and gone through a bit of a trial to get here, you may as well come over.
I want
Torth
to
just starts walking in, like, this
go,
is
I
all
want to go over, but not first.
Okay,
Torth-
so Torth can go first, and since there is a torchlight over there, he's not walking into the darkness.
for once this game.
Yep. So you walk over there, and the man stands up as you start to get near, and the immediate things you can tell, he has like a bronze-colored skin. He is not a drow. He is Alfir. He has long, like pale blonde hair, and it's currently tied back with a couple of leather like straps, sort of like thongs that are just holding it wrapped. He is not wearing a shirt, so he's bare chested, and he has like tattoos all over his skin. They are a deep green color, and he is very athletically built, like all muscle. No body fat on this Alfir.
As soon as you said he's not wearing a shirt, I almost said, and how does that look?
Describe further,
It's like,
please.
please
I was-
tell me.
I was very interested as well.
But you did, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He knows us.
He is wearing, and I don't know what the technical term, I'm sure I could look it up, but it's like a skirt, sort of, but it's just a folded wrap around
Sarong?
him. Yeah, kind of like a sarong. And he has sort of like sandal boots. They strap up his ankles. And he also has a curved sword.
Is his name Adonis?
No, but you can see the similarity.
Is he wearing a mask?
He is not wearing a mask, but he is heavily tattooed with these deep green tattoos, and they are like in shapes of like mocha.
In shapes of mocha?
They're in the shapes of like floral patterns. They just like they look sort of like ivy, and they just like weave across his body.
Are they all over his body? Are they like on his face as well, or anything like
They
that?
don't go up to his face. They're all over his chest and his arms, and part of his neck.
Mhm.
And you can see that they're also on part of his legs, but not on his face.
I walk up and we're like, I suppose you know why we are here then.
I do. I have a sense. But come, sit. We'll talk. And that's where I'm going to end it for today, and we'll pick up from there next time.
Ah,
Yay!
That was. Thank you, Jason.
This was a
That
fun one. I like this was a good session.
There was a lot that
Yeah.
happened this session.
I like mirror imaging.
Mirror Imaging was
I'm
hilarious.
glad you did.
Thank you for ruining Imogene's favorite thing for her. The thing she loved and trusted most, mirrors.
I was gonna say mirrors or her reflection.
Both? Imogen?
I mean, first one then the other.
Amazing. So that was awesome. So I guess let's go around in reverse order this time. Jason, you want to go first?
Sure. So I am Jason. My handle on Twitter is @JaceLevine. That's pretty much where you can find me. Every other week I'll be running Spire here, except not next time. 2 weeks from now I will be in Toronto, hanging out with Jess. So there will be no game that weekend.
So guess what? I won't be here either.
Yes.
I'll be here.
You'll still be in that general area.
I'll be in this locale-ish, but I won't be on this page. Do we want to do favorite moments or anything like that? That's always a fun.
Sure. I can do that. Geez, I think my favorite moment was Imogen just putting that last piece in there, like just with full confidence in herself, just putting it when nowhere else is looking, and then touching the mirror, which I was waiting to happen. Like I had that part planned out, and I wasn't sure anyone would do it. But
Well, I was going to do it also, so I'm glad someone did.
I can't help myself.
That was amazing. Dustin, you want to go next?
Hi, it's me, Dusty, @GeoNerd on Twitter and Twitch, and that's where you can find me. And I think my favorite moment was all of it. Really liked being in the Vermision, and I really liked how I played Torith today. That sounds so self-centered, but I was really happy with
hey, it is not self-centered.
moving,
It's just
moving a
enjoy
step
how you
forward
play
into
the character.
figuring out how this character works. If I could ever get, I'm upset that I never stick with the Wii thing, but I also think that I go in and out of it seems to fitting for what Torith
Yeah,
is.
I think that works for Torith.
Yeah.
And like I've decided, like I started changing my voice and everything too, just because various me's. But yeah, this was a really, really fun session, and I liked that we got to. I even liked like helping Kahosa like focus on being in this place because, like, I know this place. And it was just fun.
Nicholas?
Yeah. I'm Nicholas. You can find me at Nyvinter at Twitter and Twitch, sometimes on Twitch anyway. And tomorrow there will be on Little Copper Joe's channel, there will be the promise tree for a while. And yeah, favorite moment, probably when we shut down the hooligans.
That was really, really good. I love that. Megan?
Yeah, hi. I'm Megan. You can find me at MeganLynnFTW on Twitter, where I scream about RPGs and retweet pictures of possums. So come on by. I think, oh god, yeah, I definitely think my favorite part was like the second I was like, yeah, I'm gonna touch this mirror. And it's like, oh yeah, well it feels like a mirror, and then there are fingers there. I'm like,
Oh, it's so good.
it was so good. I hated it, but it was so good.
I also liked your comment in chat in the Zoom chat, which no one else could see. That was Erebos has escaped.
Yes.
When the video was broken.
Which, yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
So, that whole, yeah, that was so good. Love.
It was so good. Yeah, and so I'm Jess. This is my channel. Thanks for being here. Follow if you haven't already so you can hang out with us every other Saturday, except next Saturday. Sorry, except our next one, which we are skipping because the DM won't be at home, so we can't do it. So sorry, but you know, that's how games work.
I don't want to
I have
rely
to
on
work that
hotel
day
Wi-Fi.
too, so it works out.
Yep.
Yeah, but totally come hang out here. We do lots of stuff. Later today, me and Dustin are going to be wowing. Apparently, Dustin tells me there's bunnies, which
It's
is
Easter,
always...
so it's Noble Garden, so we can be bunny.
Yeah, that's exciting. Tomorrow, we're going to be... there's going to be a game of For the Queen, which is by Alex Roberts, the same person who did Starcrossed. We do Starcrossed. We do lots of different... Any sort of... DM-less, prep-less games we can get our hands on is kind of the way we're steering we're steering the ship, because that means maximum amount of people can just jump in at the last minute and play games. Also check out Critical Reroll, the Critical Role podcast Dustin and I do. And yeah, thanks for...
We are not on it this week, but check it out.
Yeah, you should still check it out, even though we're not on it this week. So, you know...
Because other cool people are.
Yes,
Lots of
exactly.
Other cool people are.
There are other very, very, very cool people doing that. And yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for being here. We heart your faces. We're going to go raid another TTRPG stream, because that's the good shiz right there. That's what we want. Have a good day. Hopefully we'll see you later. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.